What's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I'm actually bringing out part 1 to my Singleback tight Y off mini scheme. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn post notifications on. Now, the reason why I'm choosing to do a part 1 and part 2, because in part 1, I really want to talk about how I love to dissect zone coverages, and I want to show you the 2 best run plays that I love out of this formation. But before we get any further, I do ask, if you appreciate any part of this video, or if you find any value out of what I'm giving you, if you could just watch 30 seconds of any ad that you may see throughout the video. Because if you didn't know, when you hit skip ad, I actually do not get paid for the ad. So I do plan on becoming a full-time YouTuber, so that'll help me out tremendously. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So as far as personnel, I like having my best receivers where 19 and 88 are, which is Amari Cooper and that CD Lamb over there. Now in the third position right here, you want to have a fast receiver. So let's say I'm using like the Chiefs or something. So I'd have Tyreek Hill right here, and I have maybe Miko where 88 is, and then I'd actually have somebody like Sammy Watkins right here who has like 92 speed. So that's kind of how I would do it if I was running like with a Chiefs team or something, you know, that's how I break down my speed categories like that. Now you want a fast tight end right here, so it doesn't really matter about running, none of that. You want a fast tight end right here, and you'll see why I said that in a second. Just how it's a mix-up thing, and when we start passing the ball, you can sub in, you know, a receiving tight end if you want to. So that's how I like to utilize that. Now let's talk about what we're actually going over in part 1. So in part 1, I'll be showing you jet sweep, I'm gonna show you halfback dive, I'm gonna show you bench switch, and I'm gonna show you PA post dig. Now before we go any further, I want y'all to know what playbook I'm in. So for these particular plays that I'm going to be showing you, part 1 and part 2, you can find this in the Chargers, the Jags, the Lions, the Raiders, and Washington. Now I'm currently in Washington playbook. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So I'm going to show you dive right here, and I'm going to show you jet sweep kind of in one go. And now I'm going to show you why I like this. So you're going to have to force your opponent to run something like 3-4 odd, maybe big nickel over G, maybe 3-3-5 wide. So if they want to try to come out with something like a 1-4-6 or 2-3-6, I'm going to show you exactly why they can't do that. So let's say they come out and, you know, cover 2-6. Maybe they're going to try to run 1-4-6. First of all, they're gonna have no chance of stopping this in 1-4-6, honestly. So as you can tell right there, I mean, you could literally spam this play all day long, because they're gonna get what's called weak boxes to try to come out in this. I'll show you again. Then we actually switch up the defense here. Like I said, you're just gonna be able just to run by people and gain about 10 yards at a time. So maybe you're thinking, what if they switch to something like a, you know, 2-3-6, maybe something like that. So right here, you're gonna see 2-3-6 Sam, you know, which is a pretty common. Let's say they come out in something like cover 3 lock, because there's a whole lot of people who would just sit in cover 3 lock no matter what and just hope that they could blow up your run play. So let's go to halfback dive right here. And like I said, it's just good because it's super hard to blow this thing up in the backfield. You can tell right there, they almost did, but it gives you the ability to be able to pick. Now you can always flip this run play, which is really good as well. So let me go ahead and show you that right here. As you can tell right there, we have the lanes that we want. Now keep in mind, practice box sheds are going crazy right now. Hopefully I'll show you one more time, then after that we'll actually go ahead and move on to show you some more defense. As you can tell right there, I mean, but either way, I'm consistently getting about 5 yards before somebody even touches me. So the reason I'm spending the time to kind of show you these different defenses is so you can understand that they're going to have to play a certain defense to be able to stop that. And I haven't even talked about jet sweep yet, which I'm getting to in a second. So I do want to show you, maybe they come out, what if they come out with something like, you know, 2-4-5, which is slowly becoming a meta defense, which is something I'll be showing y'all how I like to run 2-4-5. If y'all want to see that, just do let me know. Y'all know I don't mind giving y'all what I run. So right here, just IDM, and like I said, it's good because it's gonna have to force your opponent to play a certain style of defense. So I'm actually gonna leave it on 2-4-5, and I'm actually talking about jet sweep now. So with jet sweep, it's good because this motion over, of course, a sweep. I like to ID this person right here. So let me show you what I'm talking about right here. When I snap the ball, as you can tell, we're able to gain about maybe 5 yards right there. So it just depends on what defense they're in. Now, one thing I don't like about this particular jet sweep is that it's a dead giveaway. So if you notice that he's going to tap his foot, and that's a dead giveaway for the sweep, in my opinion. And like I said, right here, you can actually take the ball outside, gain about 10 yards. So it's going to force your opponent to have to play a heavier style defense, which is what we want. So that's what we want. So we want to establish the run. Now, one thing you can do with jet sweep, you can actually flip it. So watch what happens. We flipped it and nothing happens. So anytime you have a formation where you can flip and nothing happens, it's honestly a really good formation, which is why I chose to do a video on this particular formation. So right here, as you can tell, I was trying to go outside. So that's one of the things I don't like. So when you run this play, you actually can't turn up like you want to. At least not in practice, I say. I believe in game they do let you, but let me know about that. But anyways, even if you don't, a lot of times what you're going to realize is that you can actually take this ball and go straight outside as long as you have speed. So right there, of course, you're not going to be able to outrun him, but it's just a nice mix-up play. Now, the reason that I spent so long talking about those two plays is because you need to understand that you need to establish the run. So you need them to actually feel like they need to get in a certain defense to stop the run. So you don't want them coming out in something like, you don't want them coming out in 2-3-6 or anything like that. So you want to establish the run. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the passing play. So right here we are talking about bench switch. So as far as the setup, you want to take triangle, put him on a streak, take X, put him on a drag, take circle, put him on a hitch. Now this combo right here is absolutely deadly. So let's go and snap the ball so I can show you. Hopefully I get enough time. And as you can tell, square is actually going to get wide open now. And I'm going to hop into replay mode and show you that real quick, because you need to understand how this route works and how everything's going to work together for this insane route combo. So the reason I said insane is because this streak route right here is going to push back any zone. So it's going to push back any maybe cover 4 zone, cover 3 zone, cover 2 zone, anything like that's going to push it straight back. Now what's going to happen is this drag route is going to pull down any type of zone. So if there's zone dropping, picture him just staying up there. So you see how he kind of moves down? Picture him staying up there, the zone dropping, and now look what's going to happen. We're going to have this, screaming wide open. Now this is good because let's say the user is, alright, so let me just show you this right here real quick before I start talking about user. So you can tell right there, you're going to be able to split it, and that's an easy throw. I could have threw that now, but I actually, see, I got an unfortunate instant shed, and sometimes you just can't do nothing about that right there. So anyways, the reason this is good because the running back is right here in front of us, so we could dump that down if we need to. Now let's just pretend like this is the user, right? So what the user's gonna have to do, he's gonna see them part like that. So 9 times out of 10, the user's gonna want to run with that. So if they go run with that, what do we have? We have a drag route legit wide open at this point. Now we can also have this right here open if we could playmaker it if we want to, or what? We can actually have, maybe we can lowball this. So you see how the hook curl, not a hook curl, you see how the hook zone shuffles down on the running back? We can actually lowball this right here. And or we could playmaker this guy over here, or maybe playmaker him, depending on where you step in the pocket. So that's why I said this play is honestly really good against any zone coverage. Again, any zone coverage is going to shred. So let's talk about cover 2 right here. So let's go and press with cover 2. So let's take triangle, put him on a streak, X, put him on a drag, circle, put him on a hitch, just like this. And with cover 2, it just doesn't matter. It's going to be the same thing as long as I have time. And I'm going to go replay, but as you can tell, I'm trying to buy time without having to double team anybody. But if you run this play, make sure you double team the end, which I'll talk about here in a second. So if you know you want to roll out, well, not roll out, if you know you want to drift in pocket to the left, do make sure you double team him. Just because I didn't don't mean you don't have to. Just please make sure, because you want to be able to move the pocket this way so you can move towards your reads. So anyways, this drag route right here is going to pull down this corner. As you can tell, he pulled down right here, and we have a natural void where we can throw this ball. You can even have a chance of throwing it up, but I recommend just throwing it to the sideline about right here. Go ahead and possession it, and just take your 25-30 yards. That's what I recommend. Now, this drag route, you can throw it right here to gain yards. As you can tell, I could have threw this ball about right here if I wanted to, and I still could have got about maybe 4 or 5 yards before I got touched. But if you wait, then you can actually have this right here, pass lead it up, possession, catch it for about 6 or 7 yards. Now, one thing you realize too is that this running back is going to get wide open against cover 2 because the vertical hook is going to stay on this hitch right here, and that's going to leave nobody for the running back. So if the user wants to go chase the drag, or if the user wants to go chase this, then look what he's giving up. He's giving up an easy hitch that we could take for potentially 6-7 yards, maybe, if maybe even 8 or 9, because there's just legit nobody in that area, which is why I said this play is really fire in my opinion. Now this play is so good. Why? Because we can run the same exact setup to the other side. So we take X, put him on a streak, take triangle, put him on a square, take triangle, put him on a drag, take square, put him on a hitch, just like this. Now, since we have a tight end running this clear out, you need to understand that unless you have a fast tight end here, he's not going to do a good job of pushing back that cover 3 corner out there. So don't look for circle to be open. What you want to look for is if they're pressing, then if they're not pressing, you're going to have X wide open over the middle, or you can always have your drag route open. So I'll show you X real quick. So you just want to wait for the linebacker to get pulled down, and then you'll be able to throw that right between the linebacker and the safety. Now, I'm actually going to run it again, and I'm going to show you what happens if they press. So you notice how the safety moves down some. So now don't look for this to be open, but I'll show you what happens if you make that mistake. So let's say we do the same thing. We wait, and then you can throw it right there. Now that's playing around with EA. That's why I said don't throw it, because at that point you're playing with fire at that point, because they won't always give you that fortunate animation like that. So let's talk about the for sure read, right? So the for sure read is going to be triangle. You're always going to have triangle or R1. Those are going to be your main reads. You can tell right there, I got to throw out a sack, and I'm still picking up maybe about 4 or 5 yards before I even got touched. So I'm actually going to hop into replay and just show you what I mean by the for sure reads. And do let me know if you like it if I break it down, or let me know if you don't like when I kind of spend this much time on one particular play. But I want to make sure you understand that you can run this play on either side. So you're gonna really confuse your opponent. So now the reason why I said that, because let's say now the user in this linebacker, they're like, you know what? I put him in the flats. and I manned up the running back, and now, you know, maybe I spied him or something to take care of those hitch routes. So now I'm actually in charge of guarding, you know, this route, the one that's going to break here. So let's say he's in charge of that, right? So let's say the user shoots this way, right? And he's like, oh, he's running to the other side. Now look what's going to be open. We're going to have this drag route just screaming wide open, right? So that's why I said your opponent's going to have no clue on what to do. And as you can tell right here, a lot of times in cover 3, we can have this nice little seam route. So it's going to just be a lie. You can tell right here, the running back, yes, is going to get wide open. So they can't just go chase him and leave the running back, because the running back is going to be open. So that's why I said this setup is just really, really money in my opinion. So last thing I do want to show you, I'll show you cover 2 against this side. And keep in mind, this will work against any type of zone coverage. I'm just doing cover 3 and cover 2 because those are the ones you're going to face the most. And yeah, that's pretty much why. So let's just go and take a look at it. I'm not going to throw nothing. I'm actually going to take the sack so you can see exactly what gets open. As you can tell, circle is going to get open. You just have to wait a little longer for that to get open, but it's going to part like the Red Sea. So if they run cover 2, you can definitely abuse it all game with this setup. So the drag route can get open, as you can tell. You can throw this ball right here. You can throw that. All you need to do is pass lead it up, and you'll get about maybe 5-6. Now you can throw this ball right here to CeeDee Lamb right here. You can throw it. Just wait for him to drop. So as soon as you see him drop, that's when we throw the ball. I could have threw that right here. You're gonna get like a possession catch right around here, and right here. Sometimes you can throw this depending on what they're doing with their deep zones. But I don't ever recommend throwing this. Please don't throw it. I just said, you know, it depends on what they're doing, because sometimes they might not put nobody directly in the middle. I mean, you never know. So I mean, it's just, you know, it's something to look at. But realistically, you always want to look at the running back. So realistically, you want to look at the drag to CeeDee Lamb, or the corner route, I should say, and then as a late check down right here. Or sometimes you can potentially have this depending on what they're doing. So that's just how I love to utilize those plays. Now, the last play that I'm actually going to show you is going to be this PA post dig. Now, I love this against cover 4 drop. So as you can tell right here, we do have cover 4 drop. So we're going to go ahead and press. I'm going to show you press and not press. Now, I actually was not able to get gameplay on this because I actually did not have nobody run cover 4 drop while I was getting gameplay on this. So I do apologize. But the reason that I want to include this is because it's a simple setup. All you need to do is take square, put them on a hitch, and honestly, just motion them out, and you can run this play just like this. Now keep in mind, CeeDee Lamb only has 90 speed. I believe he has 90. So it's not even that you have to have somebody fast. Hopefully I get enough time here to be able to show you. As you can tell, I mean, he's just going to be able to outrun him. And like I said, he has 90 speed, and that's going to work pretty consistently for you. So I know you might be thinking, real, obviously he was pressing, so maybe, you know, that's why it didn't work. But I'm going to show you right here. We do have cover 4 drop, and it's going to work exactly the same. Now you do not need to carry out the play action. You actually can block your running back. I personally just kind of like the play action a little better, but you can run it honestly just like this if you want to. Just take triangle, put them on a hitch, motion them out. You want to double team this end over here, so that way you can kind of drift in the pocket that way. Now you want the user to be able to worry about triangles, right? As you can tell, I actually forgot to put circle. I forgot to put square. I forgot to put square on the hitch, but as you can tell, it still works the exact same way. Not square. Yeah, that was right. I'm tripping. Don't mind me. I'm tripping. So, like I said, just take triangle, put them on the hitch, take X, block them just like this, and you can run it just like this. So just make sure you double team them. Like I said, I'm gonna show you just showing you one more time because just show you how consistent it is and that it can work as long as you have time. As you can tell, and boom, I didn't even step up into the throw, but we're still able to outrun him. Like I said, that is CeeDee Lamb, who has 90 speed, and that's Darnell Savage, who's actually like 93 speed, I believe. Darnell Savage is. He's somewhere around there, which is why I like using the Packers. But anyways, what's going to happen is the reason this works is because this dig route, well, not the dig route, but since there's nothing threatening these players over here, they get to a certain point and they stop. So right here, they get about to the 40, I believe that was. Yeah, he gets to about the 40, you know, well, actually about the 35 he ended up going to. So he kind of stops right here, and that's what's going to allow him to actually keep running past him to be able to bomb him. Now, the reason the user can't just go run with that, why, is because he has a dig route he's going to be worried about, and he sees a hitch. So 9 times out of 10, this is what the user is going to do. So if this is the user, he's going to just kind of sit right here. He might fly down on this. So especially if he's safety. So I can't tell you how many times I can bomb people because they use their safety, and then they came down on this dig route, and then they end up giving up this post. So that's something that you definitely can look for. Or if you don't see what you like, if you're kind of nervous, maybe they ran something else you didn't like, either playmaker this hitch, throw the hitch, or you know, pretty much take off in the pocket. So anyways, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for part 1. Do let me know if you enjoyed this little part 1 mini scheme, and I'll actually give you a sneak peek of part 2 if you're curious about it. Just for those of y'all that stick around. Now, I'm not going to include this in any timestamps. This is just for those of y'all that actually did watch the video throughout. So in part 2, I'm actually going to be talking about drive flood. I'm going to talk about out and ups. And I believe those are only 2 plays that I'm going to touch on. So I'm going to touch on drive flood and out and up in part 2. And those 2 plays right there are going to completely shred man coverage. But I'll get into all that in part 2. But anyways, I hope you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Rail, and I'm out.